Alright guys, before I start my speech, I wanted to let you know that as you can tell, I do not have an audience, and not using excuses, I just wanted to let you know why I don't. Saturday, an EF1 tornado hit very close to our home, and as you can see, the inside of the house is still good, but we had quite a bit of damage to the outside, and even more damage to a vehicle that was parked in our driveway, and it's my main vehicle. My husband does have another vehicle, but that is his vehicle to get back and forth to work and will not haul all of our children. So due to numerous appointments between insurance adjusters and body shops, and then the home insurance and all of that, I have not had time to get an audience here, and without the ability to travel because our rental car insurance doesn't kick in until the car goes into the shop, and the shop couldn't get it in until December 4th. It's left me out of time and out of resources to get an audience together. But I figured submitting some form of video would be better than not submitting anything. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Can you imagine having your child removed from your arms only 24 to 48 hours after giving birth? That's exactly what happens to approximately 2,000 prisoners each year, according to Prison Legal News. While we all agree that entering prison while pregnant is not ideal, it's a situation that a lot of women face. The process of giving the child over to foster care has been the primary source of handling these situations for many years. However, these states, California, Illinois, Indiana, South Dakota, Ohio, Nebraska, Washington, and New York, have all found a better way to handle this situation. And CWLA is the source where I got those states from, and that's the only states that I know of currently that have these programs. These programs are called prison nursery programs. And what these programs are they are separate dorms that allow the mother to keep the child in a room with her. And she has to meet certain qualifications, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. These programs allow a lower rate of reincarceration for both mother and the child. They promote bonding between mother and child, and they also lower the trauma to the mother after giving birth. Some may argue that cost and safety are a main issue with these programs, but we will also discuss those later. First, lower reincarceration rates for mother and child. A mother's risk of committing a subsequent crime lowers from 30 to 10% when she's allowed to keep her child in the Babies Behind Bars program, which is actually the documentary where I got that statistic from. That documentary follows the Women's State Prison in Indiana, and in their studies it also reduces the risk of the child becoming a repeat offender or offending the first time by over 50%. The way that happens is when these children are in these programs, they get daily interaction with police officers. So some children may have been raised in a situation that would tell them that police officers are bad, but these children are getting firsthand experiences that police are not the enemy. Secondly, the bond between a mother and a child is most developed in the first year of that child's life, according to WebMD. Over 80% of the bonding that happens with a child happens in the first year. And mothers that are in prison or jail that lose that year of bonding are more likely to come out and continue living the life they were living versus becoming a good nurturing mother, which is why we see the lower statistic for women who are allowed to keep their babies and learn to bond with them and learn how to take care of them so that when they re-enter the world, that's already a habit. They already know how to wake up every day and to love their baby and take care of their baby, so it becomes a habit. Lastly, there's lower trauma for the mother. In the Babies Behind Bars documentary, it shows exactly what a mother goes through when she gives birth, and she is shackled to the bed until she gets her epidural. They're allowed to remove the shackles after the epidural is given and the legs are numb, but immediately after giving birth, the shackles return, and that is a major traumatic event for someone's psyche. So allowing that bonding time instead of having to hand their child over helps lower some of the trauma to the mother, and it helps, just helps her move forward and helps her have a really good relationship with her child. I know that there are two main issues that a lot of people are worried about, and that's cost and safety. As far as cost goes, we are saving money by women not repeat offending that have went through the program, where in the long run it will eventually even out. It may not, right off the bat, but when these women aren't returning to prison and using state resources to keep them in prison, we're making some of that money back. And to be honest, having mothers raise their own children and be good mothers is kind of an invaluable asset. As far as safety goes, these units are separated from the general population, and every single state requires you meet certain qualifications, which include you cannot have any form of a violent offense. And that includes your juvenile history as well. You have to have less than 18 months on your sentence. They don't want children being raised in a prison, but under 18 months old, they won't remember the bars. It'll be more of they'll remember their mom and the bond that they grew while they were there. And they also have more prison guards in the unit, along with people who have been verified to help kind of as nannies. And they have a pediatrician on call at all times as well. So it's just as safe as being at home. In closing, I hope that with everything you've learned about the benefits from lower reincarceration rates, it's a mouthful, the better bonding for mom and baby, and the lower rates of trauma for the mother, and we've discussed how cost and safety are not an issue, that you will greatly consider supporting these programs, and not only supporting them from a point of view, but telling your local state representative or your county representative by calling a phone number, which I'm going to attach a list to this file, giving them a call and letting them know that you stand behind it and you would like to see one of these programs in Kentucky and give Kentucky mothers a chance, because we currently don't have any type of program like that here available. Thank you guys.